think it's Pierco brand, all plastic frames. I bought these when I first started beekeeping quite a while ago, and they seemed like a great idea at the time, but I didn't think about all the little nooks and crannies here, all across the thing, where all kinds of pests can hide out in there. That's bad. And then the bees don't like the plastic foundation so well. You can get around that by, checkerboarding this stuff in with full frames, capped brood or capped honey. But anyway, I was on the verge of throwing these away based on the advice of the Fat Bee Man, but then I decided maybe I can use them in a different way. So I took this one right here and just cut the foundation out and mounted it into a wooden frame. It seems to be great. It's nice and stiff, maybe even stiffer than the plastic foundation they're selling now. And that could have some advantages, especially like using it in hive traps. It's nice and sturdy, so you don't have to worry so much about handling it gently. And if you're going to make honey, this is a deep frame, but if you're going to make honey and you use the scoop method, you don't have a spinner, you can just let them fill this with honey and just scoop it off with a spoon and they'll drain it, and then take whatever's left to put it back for the bees to clean up. But anyway, let me cut one of them up and mount it up so you can see what it looks like. Alright, so I just used a fine tool to cut them. I think a bandsaw would work even better for this. I have one, but it's not set up the right way right now. And for the first time, I just cut all the way, all four sides with this. And then once I got it out, I noticed that this was too tall, so I had to get out the snippers and trim it. So this time I'm going to cut the ends off and then try to cut these parts with the snippers. See how that works. Alright, so here we go. Can you see that? So you see I'm not dwelling in one spot very long, because the longer you dwell in a spot, the more it's going to melt and gum up. Alright, so you can see where I dwelled, it's all gummy, and that'll have to be trimmed off with a knife. And let me try to snip this. Let me just put it where you can see it. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Nah, that's not going to work. So I'm going to have to cut it with a fine tool. All right, well that was, I tried a couple different ways, you know, doing it light cuts repeatedly. This time I just tried to bowl my way through. You can see that it's got a lot of junk on there. This plastic foundation, if you just go to buy it, if you buy 100 of them, it only costs $1.12 each, plus shipping. So this isn't saving any amount of money really, if I figure my labor, but I don't figure my labor. I'm just trying to make up for what would be a loss. These things cost a lot more than $1 a piece when I bought them. But I've got a couple hundred of them, so if I trim them, that'd be like a couple $100 worth of stuff. Alright, so right here on the corners, I'm going to snip that off to give the bees a walkway, an access path back and forth. There's no foundation there anyway. There's no wax print. All right. Can you see that? All right, let's get a frame, put it in there. So put it in the bottom first. Oh, I forgot to trim this. All right, so this is a good example anyway. That's all the way down in the bottom. You can see it's too long. The Pierco frames were just longer than the other ones, so I need to trim off a little bit. So I'll just take off and I'll just with the snippers take off one line. Okay, now let's put it together. Here we go. And now it's just a matter of tacking this piece in, and I've got a piece of plastic foundation. That's all for now.